This is a presentation of the Sports Source Digital Network, presented by Hearthside Bank.
It doesn't read December on your calendar, but it is the most wonderful time of the year. Sports Source Digital Network, it is action. Chucky C-Note, Chuck Cavalaris, Tyler Ivens. We have not 3, but 4 massive picks for you today. And if you're wanting to make a little bit of cash, allow your 2 hombres to be able to assist you. Chuck, I just want to dive right into it. People want numbers, people want the opportunity to click, and they want the opportunity to cash. It's arguably the biggest game. Some believe that it's actually the leader in the clubhouse for the national championship. Texas leaves Austin. They go to the shoe, defending national champions in Ryan Day, and oh yeah, Arch Manning now officially has the reins for the Horns. Chuck, I'm going to let you get started here. Texas, are they back? And they're going to be going up to Big Ten country.
Boy, I tell you what, I keep hearing this could be the biggest college football opener ever. And that's after they've already done all the hype they can do. It's also the first time, if you buy into the line, Texas will be the first #1 team to open as an underdog, right?
Great nugget.
So the lines have had a little bit of fluctuating. I would go with right now, Texas would be about -2.5. So you mentioned Arch Manning, long awaited. Why didn't he play more last year? He only had 2 starts.
Especially knowing how injured Quinn Ewers was.
Exactly. And so, but going to Ohio Stadium, where we know how much trouble Tennessee had.
Yeah.
So I've got a few things I'm looking at. What do you think?
I'm going to make this short and sweet. Everybody's talking about Arch Manning, and rightfully so. He's the leader in the clubhouse right now. Heisman odds, I believe people are looking at the wrong side of the ball. We're going to be focusing on 2 teams today that are going to have elite defensive selections in next spring's NFL draft. When Texas ends up winning the national championship this year, spoiler alert, it's going to be because of their defense. Arch Manning isn't going to need to go out there and play like his uncle did freshman or sophomore year. This defense is elite. He can carry them to a championship with 21, 24 points per game. I don't like Texas a little bit in this game. I like Texas a lot of it in this game.
And one thing with Arch Manning, plays with his feet. How many times, even in limited time, can he get out, escape the pocket to the right? Next thing you know, he's 30 or 40 yards downfield.
Very true.
And the staff stability is one thing I'm looking at Texas. Ohio State has lost their offensive coordinator. They've lost their defensive coordinator.
Great points.
The staff changes. Who's calling plays? Is it back to Ryan Day? But then if you go against Ohio State, Ryan Day, 70-10 overall. Yeah. He hardly ever loses to anybody at home unless it's Michigan. So, I mean, I see what you're saying. I also like Texas. I think they had the better roster, and I think the odds makers are scared to death how this game could go. Don't forget, they went to Michigan last year, defending national champion, boat raced them.
Blowtorch.
Texas has gone to Alabama, won. Why not go to Columbus and be able to at least make it a good competitive game with a chance to win?
Last year it was all about Ohio State and their alleged $22 million NIL roster. What did we hear all about this offseason? Texas and their alleged close to $40 million NIL roster. Cash versus cash. We both like Texas to cash in this matchup.
Yes.
But hey, Chuck Cavalaris, Brian Kelly and LSU can't win an opener to save their lives. Death Valley meets Death Valley. Another SEC underdog team heads on the road, this time to the coast. I got to ask you, Tigers versus Tigers. Brian Kelly against Cabe Klubnik in what many believe could be Dabo Swinney's comeback year.
I mean, it certainly looks at it. When you look at this Clemson roster, they return 80% of the contribution, not just offense. 8 starters on offense. Defense, 12 of the 18 top players. That 80% is tops in college football.
Yes.
So it's their returning players versus LSU new players. LSU was either #1 or 2 to Texas Tech in the portal.
Okay.
They were top 10 in high school recruits. Are they going to be able to get that secondary at LSU on the same page? And there's the Brian Kelly factor.
Yeah.
LSU has lost 5 straight openers. Brian Kelly's lost 3. They're not determined. Are they putting too much pressure on themselves to go on the road and get that victory?
I told you we would mention two defenses during this segment. Texas's defense is going to be absolutely unconscious, knock you out all season. And then there's this Clemson defense. Look, it's been highly reported that their NIL money is tapped at Clemson. Many are believing that perhaps without that, Dabo Swinney will never be able to return to the top of the college football mountain. I believe Clemson's defense this year is going to end up being a difference maker on why they're going to win the ACC. But they're not going to beat LSU and Clemson. This is finally Brian Kelly's opportunity. Now, I know what you're thinking. This is me just going all SEC here. I'm a believer in Garrett Nussmeier. I am a believer in what they did in the college football transfer portal. Let me remind you, if you look back at who the transfer portal queens or princesses were of each of the last 2 seasons, they end up shining when they got the biggest opportunity. Look back at what happened Florida State 2 years ago, but they just lost Jordan Travis before the ACC title game. Same with Oregon last year. They shined all the way until they ran into Ohio State when they got into the college football playoff. LSU made sure that they allocated their money in the right spots this offseason. I think Brian Kelly explodes on the scene, and LSU not only is a dark horse to make the college football playoff, but to win the SEC championship. I've got LSU plus 4.5 in this game. Even if they lose in a close walk-off, they're not going to lose this game by more than a touchdown.
And didn't Clemson finally go to the portal and get a rush in?
Finally.
Finally, which, I mean, you have to do something. At 4.5, I've got kind of something I would like for our viewers to consider, because it's a little bit of a Chucky C crazy kind of wager to middle it.
Please.
I like Clemson on the money line at home. I like LSU plus 4.5. You can win both bets. If it comes down to a Clemson field goal to win, you can win both bets. I love that.
Advent Electric has been providing high-quality electrical contractor solutions for 46 years. From 24/7 emergency electrical services to providing skilled residential and commercial electrical contractors and everything in between. Our expert certified electricians are equipped to help you no matter the size or complexity. Advent Electric, 865-588-0631.
And thank you again to our friends over at Advent Electric. So you like what we are doing here on the Sports Source Digital Network. This will be a great time for you to like the video in front of you. It's going to let everybody else know this might be a video you want to check out, especially if you like making a little bit of cash. You can ring that bell anytime we have new videos that are being put up here on the network. And be sure you comment below. Are we nuts for splitting the LSU-Clemson game? Are we too heavy on Texas? And did I mention, in less than 5 minutes, we have your official Tennessee pick for the opener against Syracuse. But how about a prop bet?
Okay, man.
Now, I understand prop bets are only available in certain states. Wherever you're watching this, be sure that you consult with your local sports book on what is and is not legal, illegal. One of those here in Tennessee, but we like digging into some of these prop bets. I want to look back in the last 4 seasons, all under Josh Heupel, okay? So let's do this. You've got, in 2024 in the opener, Nico Iamaleava, he attempted 28 passing attempts. So really the highlight of this prop bet is about starting quarterback Joey Aguilar. In 2023, Joe Milton had 30 pass attempts. And then when you look at both Milton and Hooker in that Orange Bowl 2022 year, Hendon Hooker with 25, and then Joey Bazooka, he ended up having 23 of his own. You piece those numbers together, the average is a nice, comfortable 26.5 passing attempts. So, Chuck Cavalaris.
Yes, sir, man.
Over, under, Joey Dangerous Swags, every nickname. Joey Aguilar, 26.5 passing attempts Saturday afternoon inside Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Boy, we keep hearing how his MO is more of the gunslinger, right?
Yeah.
I think Tennessee really wants to ease him into this game and show they can run the ball. That's, to me, the depth of your offense right now.
Right.
Is your running backs and hopefully the right side of that offensive line. Especially, you know, that. I don't know how much you could say that. I think this is a great number. I think as the game goes on and he gets a little more comfortable and in the flow and hopefully hits a couple of passes downfield, I think this goes over the 26.5.
See, this is why I love doing shows with him, because you never know if we're going to be on the same page or if we're in 2 different libraries. This is an under for me. Here's the reason why. If Tennessee's going to win football games in 2025, they're going to have to win them the way they did in 2024. Control the clock, run the ball, let your defense win games for you. This is the type of game where Joey Aguilar, there's going to be a big bulk of passing, short pass plays, be able to move the chains, 17, 18, 19 pass attempts. And then when you get to that second half and you feel like you got a little bit of control of this game, lockbox. I think lockbox. You're going to see a lot of the running in this game. I wouldn't be surprised if this ran right up to the number, 26 pass attempts. But the hook is key, especially whenever you're playing the game in Vegas. I'll take under on this. I believe Joey finishes somewhere in the 25-26 range, which will then lead us to the big pick.
Yes, sir.
Tennessee, Syracuse with the Vols as a 14-point favorite. Remember, window shopping. As Chuck and I have explained to you before here on Action, make sure you're shopping across different sports books for the best number. If you want to get Tennessee under those 2 touchdowns so you can still get out of there, every point counts. So we'll do it at an even 2 touchdowns. Chuck Cavalaris.
Yes, sir.
The Vols in the orange. They've met 3 times in the history of these 2 programs in 3 different cities. They've met in the Gator Bowl in the 60s. They met in Knoxville in 2002 to open up the season. 2001 to open up the season. And then, of course, the famed 1998 Jeff Hall Syracuse Carrier Dome game. So 4th matchup, 4th location. The Vols are a 2-touchdown favorite. I'll let you lead off here.
Well, I tell you what, that number has held steady, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, pretty close to
the
right
Nico
on there.
Joey transfer dropped at a point here or there, but then we started seeing it be heavy Vols.
And from what I've seen, if you trust the numbers, I think the online gambling sites, about 75% or so, are taking Tennessee.
Yeah.
And I find that interesting. That doesn't mean you have to, go with that. But I think you can look at this 2 ways, but the practical way with so many unknowns, that's a lot of points.
Yeah.
And I could just see Syracuse hanging around, maybe even getting an early lead. Who knows? So it's just hard for me to pass up that many points, although I still think Tennessee can win the game going away in the second half.
Yeah, I'm on a similar tune as you. Look, this is a Tennessee football team where, guys, there are still a lot of questions. If you talk about the offensive line, you're starting 4 new guys, and it sounds like Josh is leaning towards redshirt freshman Jesse Perry as his right guard, with true freshman David Sanders as his right tackle. That not so much up to question, more on the inside. Wide receivers, how healthy have they been able to get? And really have the last 2 weeks been enough time for Joey Aguilar to get real acclimated with those wide receivers? I think as you go into Syracuse, I think as you go into ETSU, those portions on your schedule, you'll start getting more comfortable. But until then, I think this is a game where you run the football, you establish possession, you let your defense help flip the field, and you win the game and get out of there.
Right.
Syracuse is going to keep this within 2 touchdowns. This seems like one of those games where we're going to sweat through 4 quarters and we're going to kiss our sisters and it'll be a push. This has got like 35, 21, something in that neighborhood written all over it. I'm going to take the orange and the points in this game. But, again, it's all about if Tennessee wants to make this ugly in the 4th quarter.
You're taking the big orange in the points?
No, Syracuse and the points. Yeah,
but
right.
real quick, to me, if you're taking Tennessee, you're betting on Tim Banks and that defense.
That's exactly what it is.
And you're here. Let's don't forget, both teams have new kicking game coaches.
Yes.
I like the stability that Tennessee brings, and even bringing in a former NFL guy that's got great credentials. Last year, Syracuse was last in the ACC with like a 60% conversion rate on field goals. Block one, Vols. Take it to the house. That's what could turn this game.
So if I'm hearing you right, you like the Vols to win, but you got Syracuse plus 14.
Correct.
I like the Vols to win, but I've got Syracuse plus 14. Every week, the biggest games on the menu, stop by and see us right here on Action on the Sports Source Digital Network. That's Chuck Cavalaris. All the cash and all of the monies. We're going to count it up. We need it. Ring it, comment, like it. We'll see you next week right here on the Sports Source Digital Network.
Money. Honey.
Hey guys, Tyler Ivens. And with the upcoming sports season around the block, a lot of you out there are probably anxious to head to your favorite sports book. I'm here to remind you, be sure that you're setting limits. Never chase your losses, and make sure that you only gamble what you can afford to lose. And if you do have a sports gambling problem, call the Tennessee Red Light.